think we have Michael Mine. His group is Dr. K. Let me go, but you guys should be good.
Good. That's sweet. Okay. Hey,
Perfect.
good stuff. One more.
Everybody's,
You?
Good, how are
There
you?
you go. All right. All right, good to go?
Here,
All right,
I was,
cool.
this is the agenda.
oh, yeah. I was talking to Nicolas from Amazonia.
Yes.
He gave me some ideas for his business not to be interrupted.
Yeah, I was talking to him too yesterday. But we'll talk about it now. So I'll call the meeting to order. Yeah. So 6:13. We have to do a roll call for subcommittee, right?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you do? Really? Do I just call the people that are here? Okay.
Order.
Oh, yeah. So we'll call to order 6:13, meeting begin. We'll do a quick roll call of the people that are here. So Felicia Salazar,
Alicia Salazar.
Ralph Shook, Rafael Shook, and then Matthew Casamayor. Those are the three that are here. And we have Amber from the public. That's our public comments. So we'll move on to public comments, I guess. And do you have anything you want to say, I guess, before we actually kick it off and get going, or?
No.
We thank you. All right, cool. No, he's part of the conversation
It was a
anyways.
beautiful event. I was there. I mean, it was very nice. I'm excited to have it back on Main Street.
Cool.
I mean, the grant companies are, I think everybody is, the community.
Sweet. Man, thanks again for the support, for making this even, possible. You guys, all the grants, everybody. All right, cool. So we'll move on to deferrals, additions, deletions.
What's your name again?
Rafael Schuck, SCHUCK.
Alrighty. So I don't think there's any deferrals, additions, deletions really, because we're just here to talk about the Main Street line. So I'll just kind of jump into it, straight into the new business. So first, before we go into the next one, I wanted to talk about, and we had some notes from the EDC meeting about the previous one, the one that just happened. So the main thing was that it went pretty well, right? Well, the main thing that we wanted to see that we spoke about at the EDC was more people. We wanted to see more foot traffic. That was like the main thing. The big thing for that is pre-planning though, and just kind of pushing it more ahead of time. Last time we only really pushed it about a week and a half before. That's really all we had. Yeah, it's really nothing at all. Now this time-
Just parachuted in, oh no.
No, exactly, yeah. Now this time we've got 4 weeks, right? So we've been pushing it for starting last week and then now again this week, and it's I created the Eventbrite for it through the chamber. We're also doing social media posts. We passed out these flyers. I'm gonna do an email blast as well from the chamber, so we'll start doing that already starting this week and last week. So it'll give us a little bit extra marketing. So I'm hoping that helps with the foot traffic. Other than that, we also spoke about some minor changes, and this is more for you guys, Felicia, for the cultural affairs. And you guys are actually managing like the agenda of it, the hour to hour.
I had just
Go for
a
it.
comment. I mentioned to, what's her name?
Andrea?
Andrea, to let see, I go blank on the
Joy.
names.
With numbers, but names again.
Sarah,
Uh-huh.
to,
Oh, sorry.
just like when we have an alarm inspection or they're cleaning something, that she sends an email to all the tenants.
Mhm.
Maybe she should advise ahead of time for the tenants to be prepared, just to avoid
I think she did that this time. We let the tenants know. But I'll double check.
right, but not just that they, again,
Okay.
I didn't get it. But I'm in the second floor, so I may have
Then
been.
you should have gotten it too, though. I'll check on that.
Because, that would be a good, hey, listen, this is coming, and, and maybe a couple times, hey, it's coming on this date, prepare yourself, restaurants, make the necessary arrangements and.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to plan with plenty of time ahead of time, and that's why I wanted to go to all the Main Street tenants yesterday and tell them this is happening, so that way they can plan for it. Because I think the biggest thing,
Mhm.
and again, still on this topic about the last one, the biggest negative, I guess we could say, the biggest complaint was from Amazonia, and that was
Right.
the music, the acoustics. And it is kind of true when you stand there. I don't know what it is with that circle, but it does kind of funnel towards their restaurant.
Yeah, because when you sat in the back,
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah, but literally right there in their
Yeah.
little outside area, it funnels there. So they were just
It's the architecture of this.
Yeah, that's why. So we were thinking of a couple different solutions. One would be, and he was asking if we could do this, is just lower the music a little bit, just a tiny bit, nothing crazy, but just so the speakers aren't
Yeah,
as
because
loud.
he was telling me that the waiters couldn't hear the customers to take the orders.
Yeah,
And then he lost 3 reservations for people that had reservation, but everybody was inside because nobody wanted to be outside. And then he lost 3 reservations and say, hey, it's my best day. If I'm gonna lose business, I'm all for the event, but shouldn't hurt my business.
yeah. No, I get it. And so that's one thing. But anyways, at the end of the day, though, he did end up getting some tables too from the event as well. That's why I kind of balanced out. We asked George the waiter, we asked him like, what about this? And he said, yeah, there was a couple people that left, but there was also 2 or 3 that came in, including Brian Morera. He was one of the ones that ate there too. Because of that, he told me. So that's why. At the end of the day, I think it ended up pretty even for him, but I don't want him to walk out of it with a sour taste in his mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the goal.
And today he told me, because as I was coming down, he was downstairs. So I say, hey, listen, I'm going to the meeting. Is there anything in particular? Well, if we can move the stage over here.
Yeah, he was
or if
thinking
you can
about
put, or if you can put the speakers facing
Yeah, pointing in
like-
that direction.
in another direction.
Yeah, he was asking me if we could put it closer towards where the jewelry store used to be.
Right.
If that's a possibility. But I don't know who that's for. If that's cultural affairs or if that's a grand question.
Yeah, the graph, because
Yeah.
remember, right now, Teleprint is just providing the directory of the music.
Gotcha. I mean, I think it will always be a grand question at the end of the day, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's their location probably, right?
I
So
mean,
yeah, so I guess Ann, if that's something you want to
first
take back
Yeah,
over there,
it's
maybe,
amazing.
sweet, cool,
The
appreciate
first
that.
time we did this event was where Montaditos is. That was a
Mhm.
little
Yeah, that
stage,
little stage, I remember.
and-
I remember that.
It was fun. The thing is that if you go too deep inside, people from the street don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
So the idea is to
Mhm.
have it as close to 67th to draw people in. Maybe I'll get the lighting guy to start,
But the thing is, like, as you drive through 57, you don't necessarily, you may see the people, but as you
yeah, because
drive,
people drive fast.
right?
The idea may be to, because I know when they do the farmer's market.
Yeah, they
have
put
the
banners. Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
they put banners and,
yeah, that's what we can play with in the next one.
To say concert or Main Street Live or something.
or maybe do it in the empty yard across the street in front of Shell's. You know.
Put the stage there.
I don't know,
The thing
because
is that if we.
if you cross the
the
street,
one-
then,
Yeah, that's it. The other side is, because I know Sheila's is always busy.
Yeah,
I mean, when we left that night,
Mhm.
I know their event started at 10. But at 9:30, they already had,
Oh, no, those people, I know their schedule because my office is right there on 67. And I'm an accountant, so I work really late. And, the Miller House at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, boom, I can hear. And now it's more calm, before COVID, I would know the songs that they would play. They would start with bang bang with the drums, and then Sheila's. I think Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they have something going on.
yeah, I think they have salsa night on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Anyways. I digress.
cool.
That sounds good to hear.
Alright, cool. So like I said, the changes that I had listed out was that more time for marketing to try to get more foot traffic. We're gonna move the stage a little bit over that direction if that's possible. Make it a little slightly less loud and just so people can actually still talk, I guess he was saying, instead of just a little too loud. And then the other thing was, this was a suggestion from Carlos at Chelas. He was wondering if we could start it a little bit earlier, like at 6. He was wondering, maybe not now for the next one or the one after, but it would be to think about moving forward. I can't remember his reasoning right now off the top of my head for doing it at 6. Do you remember, Ralph?
He was
his
well,
reason
he was
was?
saying that maybe we can have a DJ and somebody.
Oh, yeah, somebody to warm it up at 6.
Right, to warm it up and because you get a lot of traffic into Main Street early on,
Yeah,
right? Like the younger families with the kids and whatever, the 9:30 is a different crowd. Those people already have left, and so he's saying that, you know, people come, oh, the event is at 9:30. Oh, we gotta wait 2 hours. They walk around, they get bored and they leave.
Yeah,
So maybe if you start something, then, you know.
Yeah, the idea is to do like an intro, like just say music or. You know, I know 6 o'clock is too early for, you have time with the first serving drink, but, I don't know how they do it in other communities. Cause I know they, to me, 6 o'clock is the word.
No, 6 o'clock, no. But,
Even though I work nearby,
Mhm.
when I used to work in the neighborhood, by the time I got home, it was 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
So, so
Maybe,
people-
maybe.
maybe 7.
we just saw the idea out there, that's why. Me personally, I thought the 7:30 was okay,
Yeah.
but I agree that maybe before, like around 7 or 6:45.
I can
They don't have to
see
play
both sides
music,
of
but we can
that.
start just, or we don't have to, like, the band doesn't have to play or say anything, but we can just start playing some music in the background, you know what I mean, coming out of the speakers, just to get people ready that, hey, like, there's something going on here, there's some movement, you know, there's some music
Mhm.
happening. So maybe we can do that. And that doesn't have to require us, because what I'm worried about is having to hire a DJ and all this stuff and have to worry about that. But that's as easy as
Yeah,
just putting on a
that's
playlist.
expensive,
Right.
too.
Yeah, that's easy,
Maybe
just put a
we're
playlist on for
someone
30
said,
minutes.
Come to happy hour here and then the music starts. You know, like,
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying, we can just put a Pandora playlist on or something. Yeah.
Or maybe you tell Amazonia, you know, increase your speakers, so you are the,
No, no.
the first stage.
No, I don't need for that, it's too much.
Others that wanna
No,
do it, too.
No, what we would do is,
I was
we
just-
would probably just do like a Pandora or like a, what's it called, like a Spotify playlist or something that's of the songs related. Like, for example, this next one that's at 7:30, 80s music. We would start around 6:45 or 7, put on the speakers a little playlist with some 80s songs. Just to kind of get the vibe going of like, oh, there's something happening, there's music. And then, you know, there's a stage, you know what I mean? Like people setting up, whatever, it gives it more of that vibe. I think that's easy enough to do.
Alex from Garrison, and that night.
Yeah, they're 80s next the night after.
80.
Yeah, I talked to him, it's literally the day after. I was like,
And they said, well, let's coordinate, so because
Yeah.
this band is the 21st, is 80s.
Yeah,
And then when I was talking to Michael Myers, oh, I have an 80s band. I said, no, I don't want too much of the 80s. I want variety, different kind of genres and all that. So, he has, I mean, this band is different. I don't know how many bands he has. He has so many.
just taking notes of what we're talking about. Playlist. All right, cool. All right, so that's what I have notes on the previous one. I don't know if anybody else had any other things they were thinking of in terms of improvement. Like I said, our biggest thing was foot traffic and then those little changes to try to help out.
Yeah,
Amazonia.
somebody say that, you know, we wanna get people from outside of the town.
Yes.
This band is from Miami, and they do have a following. So they make me, and again, it's advertising it in Eventbrite.
Yep.
Or other type of media, you know. Give them something different, you know, advertising that. You know, so, I mean, we have to create and think about it. The idea of starting earlier with music, that's good, because that, you know, it's not like, oh, we start at 7:30 or. Just trying to.
Yeah, just warm people up into it. All right, cool.
Hmm.
So are we good on
And not
the?
have too many
Yeah.
things that happening that night either. Because we had so many things happening that night, it was like,
Oh yeah, there's the B&I. It was also having a gala in the shopping center the same day. That's why at the hotel.
yeah.
There was a lot going on that night. It is true. All right, cool. So that was the previous one. So now we'll move on to the next one, right? Talking about planning and prepping for the next one. But before we do, I want complete clarification on what it is that we have, because I'm so confused when it
Yeah.
comes to what the town can do and what
So
they can
the committee, this obviously falls very in line with cultural affairs. So if it's an event that cultural affairs wants to take on, as Felicia and all of you historically know that they used to do,
Yeah.
that's totally fine. And I mean, I don't want to speak on behalf of council, but I'm sure it's okay. It falls in line with their mission and the thing. The issue that I'm gonna say the roadblock we're having right now is that cultural affairs has not committed to taking on the event. Felicia did present it to them. She mentioned that you guys, EDC specifically, was backing it up with promotional dollars. But right now, they're not comfortable taking it on. I'm not to speak on behalf of the committee, but a little bit of the comments that I heard, and Felicia was at that meeting. was part of the concern right now is they feel like if they're taking it on, when you're taking on an event, you're taking on the dollars, the
Mhm.
expense that comes with it. And that's right now, it's not so much the event, at least that's not what it seemed like, and you guys can see the recording. It's not so much the event that they had an issue with, they think it's a great event and they wanna
They're afraid
support
of
it.
the
They're
cost.
concerned about the cost
Who
because
was they?
the committee,
committee,
cultural
okay,
affairs committee.
Okay.
Right, so they're saying.
So,
and
but you're with.
Yeah, I'm the
She's
chair.
the chair of the
Right.
I
committee,
got it.
yeah.
And I think they're confused because all these people are new. They don't know the history of all these events that have been going on for years. And the idea is to convince them. It is our event. You know, I don't mind collaborating with different entities, the chamber or whatever. But I said, don't worry about the money. I mean, if we can apply for sponsorship, then yeah, that will be our money. We'll be putting it in and helping the other committees. But they're afraid, oh my God, we're gonna have to create a, you know, a new account and this and that and that. I think that's what terrified them. I said, there's no need. I mean, it's like, I mean, we survived the first one.
Yeah.
And.
That's a big part of the grants though. That's why I don't know if we can rely on them forever.
That's
No,
exactly
what they don't wanna
that's the key question. That's kind of what it kind of came back to, because at the end of the day, yes, it's a great event and we're all very positive with everybody's connections that we can get sponsored dollars. But putting sponsored dollars aside, and this has come from council before, the idea of sponsored dollars are not to fund an event. The idea of sponsored dollars is to elevate an event that's already being funded by the committee. So the concern is the committee willing to front that money? And that's, and again, I don't want to speak on their behalf. There is a recording of the discussion. Felicia was there. They liked the event. The concern is the dollars. And I think that part of it is because cultural affairs historically has certain events that they do every year that take away, that obviously their funds are
Yeah.
used for. So it's like, they're kind of trying to figure out, can we balance everything,
Gotcha.
financially?
And adding to that is, the conversation that we had the other day is like, we have some events that are not bringing in that many people, and it's costing us. So can we make an assessment of, do we need these events? Can we, you know, because one of the comments that I heard from the staff was like, why don't you bring the event that you're doing in the park to Main Street? So, you know, it's like we could have, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was one of the comments. I was like, you can bring, you know, people, because the last 3 years, we've been losing money with the concerts. So why not invest? Of course, this I have to get them to approve it and all that. And I'm gonna bring it up in the next meeting. Is we need to make an assessment. What's working, what's not working? Because, you know, I want our events to be successful, but if one event is not being successful and is taking money away, because we cannot be moving more money around to support something else. So let's make an assessment. The same way that I want to make an assessment of if this is something to look forward to. But, you know, I'll deal with that when I meet with them, so.
Okay, I
I'm
understand.
positive that things will work out.
On my
It's-
end, I just need direction from the committee.
get you, I get
saying,
you.
yes, you know, so that when I receive an invoice from X band, stage, whatever
Yeah.
it may be, I have the direction to pay it out. It's
Did-
really, that's all.
And just to, like, for clarity, did this conversation happen before the first one or after the first one? The first,
It was last meeting, you guys met?
Yeah, we
Hold
had-
on.
That's after the,
You guys
Yeah.
met February 12th. Yeah, February 12th is when they had that discussion.
because, you know, in the economic, you know, I asked,
so before that, February 12th, right? 'Cause the first one, February 21st.
but I asked Andrea, I said, oh, no, but so in,
Yes, it was
Yeah,
February
made
21st.
it
so-
very clear. We're
Yeah,
helping
it was
out
before.
this event, but this is not a Graham event, you know, we can, you know, we can help a little bit here or there,
No,
but,
we don't want the guys
but they
to
cannot, you know, take it on
do
either.
everything.
Yeah, that's why. So right now,
We did it.
so what the cultural affairs committed to before basically was 3 events that the Grams are basically helming, I guess, right? Like with us
Yeah. Like,
managing,
they
that's
would-
basically, because I thought it was only 1 with the Grams and then we start taking over,
No,
but it's 3.
what they agreed on right now, like as the event is going on, the serious right now is assisting with the directory list, like helping with the musicians part of it. That's
what
what
they're doing
they've
right now.
agreed to. Right
Okay.
And that takes a lot of.
No, I know for sure. But I just want to know, are the Grams, do they know that? Are you guys familiar with that deal, I guess, that it was set up for? That you guys would-
Andrea is, and I think, yeah, the first couple are probably funded by
Okay,
sponsorship,
all right, cool.
but not,
No, the first one we
No,
didn't.
not forever.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't have to pay them.
That's just to get it going.
And it was my understanding that the town approved it and it was a town event now, because I was also gonna talk
Yeah, that's
about
what I thought too.
a hold
Yeah.
up. We need to prepare a hold harmless moving forward with the dates and so forth. So if that's not 100%, that decision hasn't been made.
Yeah, that's where I'm confused. Like,
Yeah.
that's so.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, but what does it need more? That's what I'm
the
wondering.
committee
It's just the committee needs to
the
say
committee
yes,
needs to say
but do we
yes.
need to go back to the council? No, right?
No, the council.
I have
approved
to
it.
double check that. I don't wanna tell you yes or no, cause I don't want you to
I,
misquote me, but I know that the committee is the one that right now for sure is not, they made a motion, which I don't know
Very
what
ambiguous.
it, yeah.
And luckily, we changed the wording, otherwise it was gonna
Yeah,
be.
but still, the motion doesn't really give me direction to
Okay,
move forward.
so
with
the
the
whole
event.
thing
The
is
motion was
about,
they'll reassess once the grants are doing 3 concerts, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah,
You
what
guys
I
are
heard
doing
was
3?
3.
They wanted to
So I heard 12,
reassess
February, March, April.
Mhm.
on if the events were successful to see if then they wanted
If
to
they
go.
wanted to
That's
take-
where they're at right now, as of last.
Okay. Okay.
Let me ask about it having to go back to council. I don't wanna
Because
tell you. yes or no.
No, because I.
Can the
No,
EDC
they-
take it over? Is that possible?
Yeah, but
Because
they,
if the issue is funding, right?
Mhm.
If the issue is budget, we're about to cancel local intel and we're about to have a huge opening in terms of budget, in terms of if that's what it takes to, because like what you were saying, Isle, if what we need to do is at least provide and show that we have the budget to do it without sponsors and then the sponsors just there to elevate it. We can kind of get the sponsors after and they just, like we can cover it if needed, but then we'll get sponsors.
Right,
So-
but that budget is not necessarily unlimited, it's.
so
No, I
just-
know, but we're gonna get sponsors and not have to tap into it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like the budget's there, so just in case.
So just 2 comments. I don't want you to think that it's like, oh, we have to go to council for every single thing. The reason that you guys would have to take it to council if that's what you decide to do is that
Because we
understand.
talked about it from a cultural
The budget.
affairs perspective or
Well,
something.
no, more the budget, right? Like, although you guys have a budget, let's say you have $15,000 for you right now, I'm just making this up. That doesn't give EDC the authority to use that money in whatever they want. Because remember at the
Yeah, we
beginning of the
make a
year,
line
you
item or
guys
whatever.
you guys
Yeah, we
allocate
make the
funding.
lines.
That's kind of, you guys gave that to council, like this is what we're using our money
Yeah.
for. So now, middle of the year, you guys can say, oh, we're just gonna use it to pay like random vendors.
That's
When it's
fine,
something
that's
that doesn't really.
Yeah,
fall
I mean, we've
under-
got 2 months now to prep,
Yeah.
so that's why. Okay.
If we can make assessment of what's, successful and what has not been successful and how we can improve it. If we can use the money, again, it's convincing that if we move an event from a location, I mean, it's still music. That's something that I have to work with the committee and see if we can, because I mean, we're losing money in the concepts.
But do you
But
guys
it
like,
just
you
has to
guys
do with
ticket the
cultural
concerts?
Huh?
They currently have 2, you do annually 2 concerts for sure. You guys do Jazz in the Park, which I don't know if you guys are familiar, they do it at Veterans Park lately.
But it costs money, like you guys can,
Because they have to put on a stage and everything.
No, I
and,
get it,
you
I
know,
get it.
yeah.
It's very.
no, I'm saying, that's
They have
how
money
you
for
quantify if it's
We
a
have
loss
money
or.
allocated for that.
I get
Yes,
it, I get
they
it.
have money allocated for that. They have money allocated for a Black History Month concert and they have money allocated for a Symphony of the Americas that they've done every year. So those are 3 concerts that the committee regularly has every year.
Okay,
And again, the committee doesn't have, and I think that's what Felicia's mentioning, the committee has the option, they're the ones organizing the event. If they want to do it in another town area, they can, but as of right now, in the last few years, they haven't. It's kind of been the same location.
but what's a measure of a successful event for the Cultural Affairs Committee? That's what I'm
Well,
wondering. Is it a
They
ticketed
didn't,
event?
unfortunately, they didn't specifically go into because we were running out of time the last.
No, but I'm saying if it's a ticketed event, so you're like, no, we spent $3,000 on the stage and we only made $1,500 in tickets. This was horrible.
Yeah, there should be
Is it like
metrics
that?
in place.
The thing,
Or
the
no?
thing is the way, I don't know how this council is gonna look at it, but the way they rate the success of an event is the amount of money that we spend on it and how many people attend.
Okay.
Like the 4th of July is a total success, because we get almost like 9,000 people or 10,000.
But you're not making money from these events,
No,
right?
I don't
Okay.
think you sell tickets per.
Yeah, that's why, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't get what.
Right, but these events are
considered.
not money makers, these.
No, that's
these
what I was
events
saying. That's
is
what, but I
for
was just confused.
bringing the community together.
No, of course, that's why. I just
But
put
if no one
cultural
shows up,
It
you know,
sounded
why-
like they were a business. That's why I was like, what is, it sounded very confusing. That's why I was like, what is?
It was very vague.
Yeah, it's, no, it
didn't
sounded
go-
like, you guys were a business. That's why I was like, what do you mean it's not successful? I thought it was just, we just do these.
It was, that meeting was kind of, there was a lot going on, so I think that item kind of fell to the end, and I don't think they went through it thoroughly, which is probably
Yeah.
part of the reason why they also didn't feel comfortable taking it on at that point.
I get it, I get it.
Yeah, it's,
No, I get the
it's
reasoning.
educating them and say, look, this is something that, will, and it's some, I think I always say it is a win-win situation for us as a town to be exposed as a cultural place where people can come and I was actually, I took out some articles about how to improve your community culturally and so forth. But again, is the money's there, it's just where do we want to have the venue at the park? Because like I said, in, what was it, what we had, what's her name? And it's rain, she only sang one song.
Nicole Brown or Nicole somebody, I was
Nicole,
there, and she's fabulous, but it
Yes.
got rained out.
But we had to pay her.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, she
And
can.
then the second one was,
Henry.
Nicole Henry, yeah. She
go
was
ahead,
good.
and the second one was, what was it, the last one, the last one?
Oh, the
I
Valerie
think there were
Tyson.
three, there were three.
I don't, but I think that's the thing, I feel like, again, this is just a suggestion, I think the metric should be very, like, things you can actually measure, because I think you can say something is successful and the other person says it's not, like, what are we actually looking at? That is very data.
All I can tell you is when what I heard from the council is they measure the success of the attendance.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
The ratio
sense, that makes
between
sense.
attendance and the money spent on.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's something that we may need to make that assessment as a committee. Is either, because I don't want to get rid of the concert, I think that's what, concerts are good. Is maybe,
I get it. So right now, the main issue,
reinvent ourselves.
so right now, the main issue is that the Cultural Affairs Committee has their set of concerts they're doing right now. And then to take this on, this Main Street Live is basically like adding another concert, but they don't have the budget for that right now.
Not their set of concerts specifically, just events, they do different.
Yeah, whatever, I'm just saying, so
Yeah.
this is like adding another event on it, they don't have necessarily the budget to take this on right now. Yeah. No, yeah, that's fine, I just wanna know.
And cultural affairs, it's to bring culture, but to bring the community together.
Together to bring.
Whereas,
business.
neighborhood improvement is to beautification, EDC is to
Yeah, they
bring.
do the bike rides,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they charge for that. So,
Has anybody on the Cultural Affairs Committee ever solicited sponsors like some of the bigger businesses in the area?
we have, for the 4th of July, we get a good chunk of people,
Okay.
but it's competing with all the other committees, and the other committees are successful.
That's where we come in. That's where we wanted to jump into the EDC because we've got the connections with the business community and we wanted to tap into that and use that. But that's why I don't know what we can do. Because every
So-
time I try it, it's like
I'm
our hands are tied. So then
I
I'm
can
like,
tell you with sponsors, so we have a good amount of sponsors that reach out, that do wanna collaborate on events, and we do, we do have them partner on other committee events. The concern with this specific event is, as a town, we cannot accept sponsor dollars for an event that we're not currently.
no, I get it for right
Oh, no,
now.
but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
fine.
letting
That's
you
fine.
guys know.
Yeah, yeah.
Once the committee takes it on, the committee says, hey, can we move forward? Then it's very easy for me to put together a sponsorship package
Mhm.
and go out to our contacts, give it to you guys, whoever, and then we sign them on. Even better, we have more money now.
No,
But
it's
the initial
timing,
funding
it's
is-
timing.
Kind of where we're.
Yeah, we
stuck
just
right now.
need to prove that we can cover it ourselves first. Is
Yeah.
basically
This
what
was
it
the-
is.
As a test, like the first time it was done as a test.
Mhm.
And I think if we, like, we finish in June, if we start, let's say in our June meeting, say, guys, this is our chance to get sponsors for next year concerts.
Yeah.
Let's start early, and then she can, jump in.
Oh, no,
and start
100%.
again.
That's why.
But it's the timing, I keep telling them, oh, we have time, no, we need 8 months to a year,
Mhm.
or 6 months.
And
to
that
a
would be great, because if you have a series lined up, it's easier to sell a package altogether,
And that's what I want.
rather than going individually.
I actually, for our next meeting, I have our calendar for the full year, and of course, part of the fiscal year for next year. Because this is September 30th to October 1st, is it?
No, October 1st is when it starts, yeah.
October 1st to September 30th. So we need to, make them understand that we need time to do all this. I remember years ago when we needed to do sponsorship, corporate sponsorship. I think it was in April and October is when all these big corporations start doing their budgeting. But if you start doing budgeting in November, it's already gone.
Yeah, because most companies start their budget in October, and they're then, once they
But-
set everything around, it's just finalizing the fine tuning.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing that we need to teach our members, our committee. The importance of doing things on time. Again, this was kind of like a little bit crazy, but it set up something that wanted to be done, and I'm grateful that Andrea helped us out. But I think it's up to us now, between the two of us, is to create that package, to have money for the cultural affairs, have the EDC if they want to promote their events too, or because like I said, what we do in Miami Lakes, I mean, of course, it's Main Street, but is helping the businesses, which is the main thing that we need to do. And, but I mean, I don't mind helping out, but I think the committee should get involved too.
No, I mean, 100%, that's.
Well,
So,
the
really
EDC
enjoying
was,
this.
we spent a lot of time discussing
Yeah,
how
our whole
can,
last meeting was about that. We even wrote up
Right.
Yeah, I
a
saw-
prospective sponsorship
I saw-
package
Right.
and everything, that we could maybe do at different levels for the different
Right.
things with the title sponsor that basically covers the whole thing. Because Andrew said it was around 3,000
Mhm.
Yeah,
ish
that's
to cover the whole thing.
because what scared, I think, some people in the committee was, where are we gonna find $5,000? Guys, we established a budget. We were kind of like crazy about the budget, between 4 and 5. It ended up being 3,000 or less in some cases.
but you have to pay the band, correct?
Yeah, the band is more expensive.
Right, you have to pay the band, then you have to pay for the staging,
The stage is.
because
set.
that comes in from the outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to
And
pay
we
that
used,
vendor.
The same person that does the Master of the Lights.
Mhm.
He's been very reasonable,
Mhm.
very helpful.
Then
they
for
are
the
very-
music, who puts in the sound, the band brings
The
in the
band
sound.
brings the sound, like this one that we have hopefully for June, is to bring their own sound. Of course, if you don't, you would have to add the sound, it's more expensive.
Mhm.
But this person that I spoke today, Michael Mott, an old resident and musician, he said, "Oh, don't worry about it, I'm here." I mean, I thought he was gonna be happy. He's coming lower than some of the other bands. So the
What's his
bands, I
name?
think, is the most expensive one between the, let's say, the printing of the banners. I would say, I made like a little, but so many things. Because the printing, the performers, the stage, the sound and lighting, and this guy that we used was very good. I didn't even ask him, he brought smoke, color, everything.
So you put in the
And he
stage
was-
and the lights and
he's a- We have to see if he.
he can put that light, the.
No, I asked him, I said, Martin, do you have any music? No, I didn't bring it in, I can bring it next time. He's willing to do it, and, it's just working with people and make them feel like, that they will be part of something important and they want to, because he was taking pictures and I'm sure he puts it on his website. So that it helps him,
Mhm.
his business too, so it's a win-win situation, I think.
Oh, yeah, the event's
I'm
good. for sure.
optimistic about all this, but you agree with me, but.
And
It's
putting
just,
putting an event together
Something
is
more
not,
really positive than the negative.
it's not,
Yeah.
¿cómo se llama?
Like that movie says, what is it? That Field of Dreams. They say
You build it and
a
they'll
dream,
come.
they'll come.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah,
that's-
but putting an event together, it takes time. It takes commitment,
Yes,
but I ran the festival in Our Lady of the Lake for 13 years.
that's a
And
very successful.
And 12 years ago, I walked away and somebody else picked it up because it builds on the success. And it has, one successful event, people like it, they keep coming. It takes a while for people to get to know about these events. And but sometimes you gotta suck it up and and, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's like you said, commitment. You need committed people that are willing to work and to help. And that's how things are successful. If you have people that are gonna be saying, no, I don't want people.
Yeah. So it goes back to, what do we need to do? Because that's
Or-
what I need to figure out. So right now, we just need cultural affairs committee.
To say they're
So
gonna take
thumbs
it
it
on
up.
start April or start whenever they want.
Okay. And the EDC, we kind of have our hands tied now. We can't really do anything. Right?
You guys can always go, again, just.
No, it would
because
have to
it's
be
a
to
fund-
make it a new line item and add a thing if we want to take
Correct,
it over.
correct.
It would have to be its own thing.
Correct.
Okay.
I do wanna mention, I know you guys did put promotional dollars towards this, so, I was asking the team right now, and they're ready to go forward tomorrow with.
Oh, we can do that?
Yes,
Oh,
because
okay.
Felicia took it to council, to let them know that EDC and CAC was supporting the Main Street Live
Okay.
event, blah, 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 and they said, yes, it's fine. So we can use those dollars.
Okay, okay.
So they'll go live with that tomorrow,
Awesome.
on Facebook and Instagram. And I think you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, we talked about a 10-mile radius, because you did want to get people a little bit.
Yes, outside of
as
the
well.
town. Perfect. That's perfect. Awesome. I didn't know we
So,
could do
yes,
that.
that's
Cool.
fine.
All right, cool. So now we're gonna move it.
How
Right,
far does
because-
CAC want to? That's kind of where.
I get it, I get it.
So CAC is gonna help. Logistically.
So you're promoting it on social media to a range of 10,000
10 miles.
10
10 miles.
people will
Around.
see this.
Yep.
And you'll advertise it.
Yep.
before.
Yeah, that's where the town will come in now,
Right,
through the EDC.
okay.
Yeah, and then the chamber's doing the Eventbrite. And
Okay.
then I guess the chamber, AC Graphics printed out those flyers and stuff too, that we gave out and all that.
Okay.
Right, so the chamber is contributing something. I.
Well, the chamber's me, that's why. It's me doing all the email blasts and social media.
Right,
posts.
right.
Yeah, but you also need funding.
Okay.
Yes, no, yeah, the chamber,
I've done the artistic part creating the posters.
no, yeah, which is, thank you for that. Yeah, like I said, I just need the candling because I need to make a half-size version of it. Because Hector, who's now a part of the EDC, by the way, the owner of Pizza Scene, he joined the EDC.
Yeah.
So he says if we can give him a half-size version, like a designed half-size version, he can.
He'll put it in
with-
the pizza,
Yeah, all
in the
the pizza
pizza
boxes.
boxes.
And he says he delivers like thousands of them a week, so, or a month, so.
So I've done that. You bring 2 posters per sheet.
Yeah. No, I don't know if he
I mean,
needs,
you have.
I think he
don't you
needs it
have
like
a
actually
smaller
designed
version
half,
underneath?
like, I don't think he just needs that in half size. if that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
maybe
Yeah, 'cause I
that,
can
maybe
print
that,
it like a
maybe that
regular
size.
paper,
And-
half and
and-
half.
Yeah.
Like a half
Yeah.
size.
And it doesn't have to be colored, because people throw it out anyway.
Yeah, that's why I don't know what he plans on doing. I don't know if he's gonna put it on the box or if it's like a thing that goes inside the little flyer.
I know.
That's why I'll see.
And it doesn't have to be the whole thing,
No, it's, I was just gonna put, it's time to celebrate Main Street Live and then featuring Glass Box Friday, and that's it.
Right,
Just the title
This
and then
and
the
this.
text on the bottom, that's it.
We
Get
can-
rid of the
we can
pictures,
even have
get rid of all that,
graphic
just that.
bands.
Oh, like the next one's upcoming, yeah, we could mess around with that.
And the tenants are putting them in the storefronts.
Yeah, a lot of them already did. Well, like I said, we passed them out, they
And
would
then
put them
they're
right there,
kiosks.
right after, which was nice.
Because the idea, if we do the kiosk one, is to put what's coming, which is something that we can do for next year.
Yeah,
We're
that's why,
not-
that's
gonna
why,
hurt
that's
people
stuff to talk about once we.
So we don't have to change
officially,
everything.
yeah, once we officially take over. So, okay, so the next thing that needs to be discussed, I guess, at the Cultural Affairs Committee meeting would be taking it over for June, and that's something that already kind of needs to be decided now, if I'm being real.
I have a question for you. I just want to be clear. And I think this will help the committee make their decision.
Yeah.
So come May, you guys will not be funding.
That's my understanding today, yes.
So if we want the event to continue, it really does have to come from the town's committees at this point.
Yep.
Yes, I mean, I think the company was under the impression that already
Oh,
happened.
Okay,
Yeah, me too, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I originally
because
thought.
I think they
That's
wanted to
why.
know, will the Grams still continue to, to give
I
funding?
mean, I figured it was only the
Yeah.
first 3 months,
Okay.
and it was over, that's why. I
Here, so I know what it
Yeah.
is.
So-
Yeah, okay.
So the idea here is who's funding? Okay, they're funding
Beginning
the
May.
first 3 months.
Yeah.
So May, well,
So you guys are.
actually, the first
That's what I
month,
think I need
yeah.
to confirm.
actually, the first month, we didn't spend anything on the band, so.
That's right, it's
Yeah.
February, March, April is what it is, that's what we're thinking of, is the 30, it's February, March, April. Right now,
But
that's.
May
yeah,
was
that's
the
what-
band that. The Grammar, they wanna do May, which is,
The what was that?
look. This is the schedule. Jackson 17th, January 17th for Jackson Bun. It was canceled because of bad weather, so.
Yeah.
The grant didn't spend any money on it, they only spending money on two bands.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, February, March, April. That's why April still
But
would still
February
be.
there wasn't.
Yeah, January got skipped
We
over.
still don't.
Don't have a band.
That's fine,
I
but
know we have May, so, can we jump to May?
what do you
And
mean?
then,
And then not have the
And
event in
skip
April.
April, you're saying?
if we don't get a band, we'll do it in April.
I mean, yeah, that's up to you guys,
You
the
know,
cultural
it's like
affairs.
That's the
I
thing.
mean, it'll give us an extra, it'll give us a little extra time to figure this out, but I mean, we can kind of worry about that
Because then.
depending on you guys in the band, I
June,
guess.
who's gonna have funding,
Wait, but that's just
I
where,
think was.
that you
was
guys come
very
in.
confusing.
Right, that's, I think what needs to be said is like, who's responsible for what?
yeah, exactly, the funding. That's why I don't care about the bands and all that right now, if I'm being real.
No, no,
I just want to
no,
talk
no,
about
no,
the
That's-
funding.
that's
Right,
what's
the fund,
concerning.
like the funding,
The
but there's the
seniors need
thing.
We
The
don't have
funding,
the
but,
money.
but
So
there's the
how we
logistics
do
too, of
this?
getting the bands and.
Yeah, but if there's
No,
no
but
funding,
we
then
can't even
it's
have it without the funding. That's why we need to figure that out. Yes, but what I'm saying is we just gotta figure out, what I was saying this before is that we need to prove that we, or you, whoever, whichever committee, can do it without sponsors firsthand and can sustain it without sponsors.
Yeah, and I don't wanna say prove, it's just, I need direction. Look, I wanna make it as easy as possible. If Cultural Affairs tells me tomorrow, hey, yes, we're willing to put up $4,000 for this series. I can create a sponsorship package and we can send it to all the contacts we have. And at that point, you will receive the sponsors. I think that's a natural progression of the event being successful.
Right.
But you guys just need to front
Yeah,
the
but I
money,
don't
so
think
we
we have
can
the-
move forward with booking.
Yeah, I think we have the time, because if I go to the committee and say, look. Some event had not been successful in the park, why don't we,
I mean, that's up to the committee, right? Like,
That's
I know
the
they've
thing,
had this
and I-
discussion and they
I-
end up in
I'm
the
very
same place.
difficult, but that is hard.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
They just
So-
gonna tell me yes or no.
When's the next Cultural Affairs Committee meeting?
Next
next
week,
week.
Wednesday.
Next week on Wednesday? Okay, I'll go, and then we'll talk about it then. If the Cultural Affairs Committee decides not to do it and not to, you guys, we can't do it, we can't afford it, we can't make it happen, we don't want it to happen. We're like, they can't do it that next
This
meeting.
year.
Yeah, whatever,
I don't
yeah.
want them to cancel it totally, because to me, I think.
Well, right now, it's gonna happen at least,
June.
March and April, right? So this March one's gonna happen. I'm gonna be there for this meeting, the next Cultural Affairs meeting, which is gonna talk about the April one. Right, and now going into the May one, which would be where we officially take over, or the town officially takes over and the Grams step aside. If the Cultural Affairs Committee does not feel comfortable doing that May meeting or that May event, then I guess we can try it from the EDC's perspective, because I know that we definitely will have the budget available to at least fund it to get going, because of the local intel thing that's gonna be canceling pretty soon.
Mhm.
I think that's what's gonna help us, because unless.
No, I mean, that's fine, that's what I'm saying, I just wanna know what it is that
I mean, for.
is
next
stopping
year,
us, and it looks like right now it's money, that's what's
Yeah.
stopping
And I
us.
have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
I guess collectively, does it make sense to do it during the summer? And I ask because I feel like there was a conversation at the beginning of this where now's really the good time and then.
It's like the weather,
Yeah, because of the
Yeah,
weather.
it's too hot.
Cause if
Yeah,
that's
it's too
the
hot
case,
and it
then
rains a lot and.
Yeah.
it gives the committee a chance to kind of organize
And plan,
Yeah.
upcoming and their
Okay.
funding as the
Yeah.
new fiscal year comes to a start.
okay,
I think it's the idea, and this is the way I think about it, they're gonna say no. Because they're gonna say, no, we don't
Yeah.
have money, unless we move money from, like I said, do we have anything in,
Can
The
you ask
thing
for
is,
more
committee
money?
has events lined up. They don't, again, if the committee maybe wants to not do those events
Yeah,
and do
because
this
we moved-
instead,
we
that's a
moved-
decision
yeah,
for them to
the
take.
event that we used to do in November?
Mm.
We moved it to January because of the weather. So the January was too cold, we hardly had anybody there. So how much can we adjust it to,
Yeah, but that's up to your committee.
Yeah,
And-
that's-
So that's
yeah, we
something
can-
that
right.
we need to bring up and say, guys, we're losing money. Because if we don't pay, we had to cancel, I'm sorry, we had to cancel in October. For some reason, something happened. So yeah, we had to cancel already 2 concerts. And we had to pay the musicians. Money that we could have used to do this.
But when you contract a musician, is it guaranteed whether it
It
goes or not?
depends on their agreement. They all have different agreements.
Yes.
No, I understand, but can you negotiate, say, hey, we got up
Maybe that's
to
something that we.
X number of days to
our-
cancel because.
Because all I know is we're losing money on those concerts in the park. And it's not fair, to always calling the taxpayers, because that's
Mhm.
taxpayers' money. And, I mean,
Losing money because they're not happening, right? That's what you're saying? Because you guys
Well,
spend
we
money.
had-
and
we
just-
had-
Or people not showing up.
Okay,
two because of weather, and then the last one is, yeah, the October, we moved it to January. And,
Okay.
yeah, because October was also changed, canceled because of weather.
alright, okay, so I think I get it now, and I like what I was saying, what you were saying makes the most sense.
Oh,
That,
about the summer.
Yes, that, what we should do now, I think then, and it kind of mixing what Felicia said earlier, is that since right now there's no band lined up for April, right, and you're thinking that there's nothing that
No,
you guys
there's,
can really figure it out right now. I'm thinking we do this one in March. We skip April like you're saying, we do May, and then we pause for a little bit over the summer. And then see if we want to come back for the fall, winter time.
Yeah, it could be a
No,
seasonal
because in
thing.
fall, we have the festival of lights, that's a very time consuming event. Of
Okay,
course, it's just the Graham doing that.
so then maybe,
But I think, and again, this is a committee thing, but I think at the end of the day, if that's how you're gonna approach it, there's always gonna be something. So you guys just have to, I guess, make the commitment that that is an event you wanna drive forward.
Well, and I think the concerts are a good idea. And if they can't be on Main Street for whatever reason, or you need a change of a venue, like you're saying Main Street's busy during the Festival of Lights with all that going on. Well, there are other venues, not necessarily just the park, but I mean, AGM has a fabulous parking
True.
lot back there.
very true.
The old Boy Scouts building probably isn't big enough, but and the shopping centers are open at night, so you can't really do that because in the leases, we're obligated to provide parking, so we can't do that. But there's surplus parking like that remote parking lot behind. It's between the hotel and the promenade,
Mhm.
so there's an area back there. If it could logistically work. But when you start doing that, it involves closing Main Street, so that adds another dimension. And then depending on, do you have security at the one in the park? Cause that's a bigger draw. Like, right now you're doing the Main Street on Friday night, so there's already security position that we have.
Mhm.
But if it gets bigger, then that's something that security has to be factored
Remember
in,
years
yes?
ago, again, at the little gazebo by Montelitos,
Mhm.
we brought like a brass band and they were playing Christmas carols.
Nice.
People loved it.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to reach out to them because I know they still exist and that will be something nice, of course.
can we ever use the Optimist Park for anything other than food and wine?
It just, again, it's one of those things that has to be requested in advance to see if we can fit it in with scheduling of the sports.
Yeah.
And those get booked out pretty in advance too,
Yeah,
so we
no, I
just
don't,
really
I
have
don't
to
doubt
be-
it, that's just another open area.
I think the problem there tends to be the parking. will
No, I don't
say.
doubt it, there's not enough parking.
No, there's no parking there. It's like if you go to a baseball game for the kids, you gotta park in the church.
We'll talk about
Better
the
be-
festival at the
Right.
church that's getting ready to
What's
have,
that?
people park all over
Everybody
the
wants
place.
to play in April.
Oh, okay, have fun.
So, well, we can do
I spoke with Felicia and this is my last point, the annual partnerships like are a real thing with these bigger companies, so I was mentioning to her, one of the biggest sponsors we
Yes.
have right now are Memorial.
Uh-huh.
They reached out to us mid-year last year to
Mm-hmm.
finalize an agreement that's gonna run till 4th of July this year. So I mentioned this to you guys because I would love to include it if the concert is taken on by the committee. It would be a great selling point to have them. And I know that they do it for the other municipalities
Yeah.
near us, so I'm sure they would jump on this too. But now, given the timeline that I know in July, they'll start asking for it.
Mhm.
So if we can have
So in
something in
July,
April,
yeah.
May lined up,
Say, look,
I can
this is our
include that in
season
that.
Right,
for-
but if you have Memorial, then you can go,
And now you can even get more.
go to Baptist that they just open a bigger facility. And they're,
Local.
right, they're the local,
Yes.
they're the local
Yeah.
team.
That's why, that's where we come in as the EDC.
Right.
That's why I wanted to do this in the first place, this kind of relationship between the culture affairs and the EDC, because it can,
I think.
helps each other out, yeah,
All
we
the
can-
committees, I think the economic and the cultural, because, I always, and I remember keep saying, repeating myself, when I worked in Broward, the cultural affairs, department used to be in the library building across in Broward Boulevard. And I can't find that button, but I used to say, culture is good business.
Yeah.
And then I'm reading all these articles about it and it's how it brings business to our community. And it's,
Right.
you know, it's, I don't give up. I said, you know, I know I'm gonna be 90 years old and I'm gonna be there just pushing for my own events.
No, because you know, you bring foot traffic and then the people get to know the towns, they get to know the businesses and, oh, there's a restaurant here, we'll come next week.
And that's the whole idea. I mean.
Okay.
It's something that we, you know, we do for the community. So again.
Okay, so the conclusion is, Cultural Affairs Committee needs to agree to take it on. If not, then the EDC needs to agree to take it on. Somebody from one of the committees needs to agree to take it on.
For forever or just for this part of the.
Or whatever.
I
we're
would,
comfortable
whatever
with.
we are comfortable with, what I'm thinking right now, just to make it easier for all the committees to swallow, is that we say we're gonna do it. Basically, we're gonna commit to 2 for the town, April and May. And then
April.
February, no, the Grams are just doing April, so it would be May, it would just be 1, because it would just be May, and then we would skip June, July, because of this whole thing with the summer. So that's why we can do that right now to make it easier for people to swallow. Okay, then whatever, then we'll
Okay,
just keep
so-
going, I mean,
so-
I'm fine with doing it over the summer too and say whatever, it's what's happening.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay,
So then, yeah,
Maybe
we're gonna take it
it's not
over
as
the.
bad, you know, July.
I'm just thinking of ways to make the pill a little easier to
Okay,
swallow.
so too.
Jackson, but
In the
we didn't
rain.
do anything
Yeah,
in
4th of
January.
July, it always
So,
rains.
so May is gonna be the Grahams.
Yeah,
April's gonna be the grand.
The
Yeah.
Grahams.
and I feel certain that's the case, but Andrew is a I'm going on record that
Yeah.
Andrew is a spokesperson for the
Mhm.
And
grants.
then
we'll
February
double
was the
check.
Graham, in March,
What do you mean, March was already, that was like this March, the one
yeah,
this
that's
week?
what we're doing,
Or the next, yeah, that's the Grams.
the Grahams, so
Yeah.
the Grahams are doing 4.
No,
No,
there's
they're doing
three.
And when?
February, March, April.
How
The
about
January
Jan-
got skipped.
Got
we didn't
skipped,
do
but
it.
it's the
March
same bank?
21st.
No,
No,
that,
but they're
that,
only agreeing to pay for 30.
yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
doesn't matter.
So, EDC is gonna do May and June.
Or cultural, right now it
Well,
would
we
be
don't
cultural
know that
affairs,
yet.
and then if not you guys, then that's why I wanna go to your
Okay,
meeting
that's
next week, because I'm gonna go to that meeting.
EDC.
And then bring it
I'm
back.
gonna pitch the case. If the cultural affairs committee, if all your committee members say, screw that, we don't even wanna touch that. We go, okay, then I'm gonna go to the council the next time and say, EDC wants to take this over because we think it's gonna be great for business. And then we'll work with you guys reverse, where instead of it's you guys helming it and then we help out, it's gonna be us helming it. And then you help out with the bands, you know, instead of
Right,
us
because
helping out with funding.
there's the funding, but then there's the logistics.
Yeah, that's why you guys are logistics, we would be the funding, but that's the thing, what Isle's telling us, and I get it now, it makes sense, is that. One of us in one of the committees, whoever's gonna helm it, needs to prove that they don't need the sponsors, that the sponsors are just there to.
Right.
Help alleviate or to help make it better, like I was saying, right? And it makes sense, because then like, let's say you can't get sponsors, then what? It's over, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why, so, what was that?
For 2025, this is it, the Graham did February, March, April,
And that's it for now.
for now. And then
Or that's just it.
May and June is either us or EDC,
Yep,
and then for 2026, if we can.
well, we'll see what happens then, that's why,
Yeah.
at that point, we'll see what happens. Maybe at that point, the
And
Grants wanna be a
they-
sponsor for one of them, like using a sponsorship package, whatever they wanna do. Which I don't know why, but whatever.
Say, what's the earliest that we can start for a sponsorship package? Would you say?
After it's approved,
As long as the event is on,
yeah,
that's
once,
what I need.
Because
one of
I-
us-
I can start
And the
putting
band is
together-
confirmed, right? Like, I think that's the main.
Yeah.
Right, so
Okay,
if we have a band confirmed for March 21st, and yes, the Grams are already footing the
No.
bill here, but could we use a sponsorship package for this event, to
The
see?
town will not
one of the
No.
committees needs to approve
handle
it first.
funding for an event that we're not.
We
organizing.
need, it all goes back to that.
But who, okay, so so what,
Right now, it's the
What I'm
Grams
getting-
are organized.
the Grams are putting these events.
Yeah.
Yes, that's from the town's perspective, it's a Gram event right now, and then we're helping.
But Felicia's doing the legwork.
Yeah, but it is.
But
a
he's-
Gram
But
event,
she's helping the
according to
Grams,
town.
she's working
She's-
with the Grams.
Yes, but according to
No,
that's
that-
according to the town,
I'm trying to find out what's the official.
that's the
position.
official, yeah, that's the official position.
Like, you
Which is
guys
not-
are writing
yeah.
checks for this.
Well, somebody.
Yeah, there's, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Grams, yeah. No, it is, but that's where the confusion was, because I was also just as confused, because I thought it was, the Grams were already gonna committed to the first one,
Right, they were
And then we take
sponsoring,
over.
right, they
And
were
I was like, oh, how
sponsoring,
nice of them.
not
but then I was like, 3.
No, they're pretty much
That's all I was like-
funding.
right.
No, I know, that's why I think they're gonna do 3, I was like, geez, that's asking a lot, but whatever, I appreciate it, but still, that's why I think. That's why we just gotta figure it out, so that's why next week, it comes down to that, if the cultural affairs committee, I just mixed those two words up, pity. If the cultural affairs committee can't do it, then we'll jump in and we'll try to do it, and I know that we have the budget for it. on the EDC, because we always end up having to scrounge at the end to figure out some things. So I think we can do that, and then also we have that big software that we pay for from the EDC, some giant software that shows demographic information and stuff.
Yeah.
And they
That
eat
was
something like
never-
$10,000 from our budget every year. It's like something psychotic. So we're getting rid of that. It's some software that we have on our website, on the EDC's website, that helps businesses look up demographics and things like that.
But that
But nobody uses it, and most businesses that are coming here aren't looking up demographics like that. Like, it's either the businesses that care about that are so massive that they have data and other people that do that for them, and the businesses that are small don't take that into account.
That's
So yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a useless thing. So yeah, so
So.
that's the conclusion. That's where we're at.
conclusion
Is the Cultural Affairs Committee, and your next meeting, basically, Felicia, put on your agenda, see if you guys want to take it over. If they don't want to do it, and I'll be there to pitch it, I'll be a public comment, hey, me in the corner. If they don't want to do it, yeah, they're probably not. That's why I'm assuming no. And then the EDC can jump in. We'll take over the funding part of it
Mhm.
officially, helmet, and then we'll just need your guys' support for picking the bands, because you guys, are the culture.
So, we don't have that, plus we have our own event, so, we can't-
Exactly, yeah, and that's just not our specialty, you know what I mean, it's the culture part of it, so that's where you guys would come in. So I think that's where we're
I
at.
think that clarifies what we.
Yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to come in here with, because I was lost.
If
when
we
it came
can
to that.
prepare the calendar ahead of time, get
Oh,
the
yeah.
bands, and then I can start,
Yeah, I mean, a big part of that is the band, that's why if
Yeah.
you, like, it's
and
like,
the most expensive part of it is the bands.
yeah, no, but that's where we would come in too, like I said, with the
Right.
sponsorship. and
But
stuff.
the
We just
first-
need to know
But the first
what
thing
the
is,
schedule is, who the bands are over the course of the next.
one thing
6
with the
months.
bands
No,
is
as-
you have to
as
get the
soon- as
commitment
soon-
before, it's like, okay, can you do it this day? Okay, yes, but not necessarily paying, is okay,
No, that this group
Mhm.
contacted me, Felicia, because I contacted them because they're friends of mine.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm still waiting for them to confirm that they want to sponsor it. So luckily, they when I gave them the date, I went like this, boom, 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 these are the days available, which one can you use?
we have a similar issue with, not that we pay them, but, the chamber, we have to look for speakers. Right now, we have the speakers booked through November. And, and we have to look for them, so, the bands need to be lined up. And then as
They're scheduled.
as they get closer, then we make the financial commitment. I don't want to make a financial commitment for a band and then for some reason, no, the band is not going, we didn't get the funding, but you have them lined up and you say, well, when is the last time that, what's the latest that we can pay you to come? And then, little by
Yeah,
little.
that takes time. Like I said, this idea has been in the works since May of last year. And finally, we had our first concert February, almost a year later. So we were lucky that we had it.
You know,
We had a lot of good people, talented people in this town, and people that want to help us. And they give us at least good price. Because like I said, the bands, I mean, I wish I could bring a really, really good band. And this band, but they're in Germany, they're missing. We can't afford it. But there's some bands that play for free. I mean, what was it? Rolling Stone one time in college, they went and play and. But that's wishful thinking. But yeah, we, as the word gets around, and when we had our artists and musicians registry, we hardly had anybody. And then when I sent that mail blast, to all these people that I know, I started looking for different bands. And how many do we have now?
I'm unsure, but
Can you email me? Not
Yep.
the whole thing, the last, I know you bring it that new.
I'll
Because
share, because I know you
It's
were
very-
asking me.
It's
as
very
well.
hard, it's very hard to find where, because you said it's public record, but it's hard for me to,
No, like, it's public records, anybody who requests it,
oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
because we have to pull it from the back. It's
Oh,
not like it's all loaded on the website.
Not even as part of the cultural affairs? You have no access to it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you guys request it, I'm happy to share it. with you.
Yeah,
That's fine.
because that's gonna help me.
What is this?
For next year.
The directory that you were asking about? We
Which one?
just-
The,
So we have a
The
form on our
registry.
website that
Oh,
we
that's right.
register, and then we have like the database of
I mean,
everybody
now
that's
we have-
entered.
we
yeah,
have-
sponsors. and stuff.
Let me show you.
For sponsors and for musicians. too.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Matt.
And this
I
shows,
gotta get going.
I haven't,
I mean, yeah, you're good to go.
I haven't even updated it because it's.
Well, the meeting,
Well, I mean,
well, adjourn the meeting.
yeah,
Right.
No,
you can just leave, that's why,
this-
like,
this
there's
is
no
the-
like,
This is the list, and this is just the.
it's fine, it's not a big deal.
And I request, you know, how much they will charge and everything. And this is
Okay.
the only ones that I've been using, and from there, I picked the best ones.
Yeah, whatever, that's good that
Oh,
we
and
have
then-
that.
And then, I contacted, this guy Joe Calderayo. He has like 2 bands, plus he plays, you know, guitar by himself.
Whatever, all this is great, that's why I want you guys to do the band stuff, that's why I want the cultural affairs committee to do it, 'cause you know what's up with that.
Well, but kind of me for next time.
No,
So
but
I
that's,
already-
let me tell you.
Somebody's gotta do it.
Because you know, again, I can use the example of getting a speaker, you know, I reach out to somebody, oh no, I want to speak in March.
Yeah,
Well, no, March is taken, you know, the person is now speaking in September,
Yeah.
and I contacted them in January. So you contact all these
yeah,
bands,
that's why we gotta do plenty of time ahead.
and then they say, no, I want to do it, and then you start, okay.
Yeah, you get into the reads.
And then you start scheduling and you say, well, no, we don't have April available, you know, we have July. You want to do July? Well, yeah, maybe, you know, and then, you know,
So as of now, we have early March, April,
Yep,
and then tentative, you know.
tentative is
May.
May and June, which like we said, it goes back to next week's culture affairs committee meeting, I'll be there. I'll plead the case, pitch the case, if they don't wanna do it, that's fine, then I'll go to the next council meeting, which we still have time. Pitch it from the EDC's perspective, that will take over, if, you know, that's good to go, the council approves it, then we'll take it over. Do you, like, in terms of putting it on our budget, then I'll can be free to make the sponsorship package.
And book the-
With all that stuff that we
Can
made before, you guys can book the bands, and then we can go forth and multiply after
The
that.
question is, if we get sponsorship, you know, it's not a matter of getting ownership or whatever, because originally we created the event. I don't care who owns it.
Yeah, I don't really care either, we can make it happen, that's all I need.
Right, that's why I'm
That thing is, yeah, I really don't care.
So, because the town is.
yeah, at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
well,
the
not
town.
right now they aren't, but
the town-
The-
yeah,
the
that's how I
town-
want them to.
The town will own.
Yeah,
it.
because they
I
determine.
mean, that's all we are, we're
they
just a town,
approve
like,
our
we're not,
budget.
we're just.
Then I
Totally.
remember the quarterly meetings for the chair people. They wanted to start cutting things out. Oh, we don't need this, hardly anybody goes to that event, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, that's fine too, you know, Peterman brought that up in one of the last meetings, if you see that, you know, you've been doing the event, same event for the past 5 years. And the last 2 years, it gets 5 or 6 people, maybe it's time to cut that event, you know?
That's
bring it back.
That's what I want to bring up about those concerts.
Yeah,
Cancel it twice. We have still paid the musician.
yeah,
They didn't perform. It's costing us money.
yeah, hey, whatever, like I said, I'll be there, I'll be in your corner on the, the next meeting. For supporting it, but I think with that, I think we're good, right? I think we know what we need to do,
No, now we know.
yeah, we know exactly what it takes.
My fear.
And then once we get that thumbs up either from the cultural affairs committee or from the council for the EDC, then I really want us to, or I guess it would be the cultural affairs committee to sit down and really make that list of bands and who's gonna be doing each month. Cause then you can give that to us at the EDC,
Mhm.
and then and we can make that sponsorship package with the ideas that we already kind of had in the last meeting, and then talk to all of our business connections, talk to the chamber,
Mhm.
and actually get them to use that sponsorship, and then maybe we don't even have to tap into the budget in the first place.
Right.
Which is what's happened to the past 2 EDC events, like our boot camp. We ended up getting 50 sponsors. That's what I'm hoping. What was that?
Coach workers can also get.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too,
Yes,
that too.
it's a.
Yeah, for sure. But a big part of it is planning. So once that's good,
Yeah.
like I said, once the committees, either one gets the approval to do it, we just need to have that, I would say at least up until the end of the year. So it'll probably be up until December, the event. And I mean, you already have them up through June, so we're
Yeah.
not even close. So I think we're good. So with that, that's awesome. Alright, cool. So I'll adjourn the meeting then, 7:16. I don't think we need to do a vote, right? There's no vote here.